Oh, please. I didn't think you knew that. Well, she didn't say she was.
This letter, who did she write it to? To the town or to? Was it sent to Andy or was it?
She said somebody gave her an email address. So.
Sent to Joe? Okay, it went to there. Okay, that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Should we wait a little bit, you think?
No. No, we're not. Wait.
Okay, okay. Oh, just.
There you go. Ryan done wrong. Wait. I really like that officer. Give him a thumbs up every time I see him. Girl, great. Yes. Do we? I get them off the beauty.
Like my vintage 80s.
What they do.
We're just gonna throw it out.
We're gonna call the meeting to order. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Oh, she's zooming.
Okay, you want to get her on? Is she already on? Oh, Missy's not here. Is she there?
No,
No. Okay,
we can start.
yeah, let's go ahead and do the roll call.
You're gonna do the roll.
Yeah, I'll do the roll call. Ryan,
Here.
I'm here. Becky,
Here.
Fritz,
Here.
Libby. She'll be here shortly. We have a quorum. I need a motion to approve the meeting agenda as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda as written.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and we need to get a motion to approve the minutes from November 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 20th, 2023.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion has it. We have our INDOT people here today. If you guys want to come up and give us a report. Steve Lindway and Grant Abbott.
Good evening. So we'll kind of talk about the State Road 67 email. So we had 3 of them since the last time we met. Can you hear me? Okay. So the first one, Rich, you requested about the ADA ramps. So on the 29th, we conducted an audit. They're all within spec for the federal guidelines. So we're good to go on the south side. Yeah, make sure the north side stands the same way, so just to let you know where we're at. It looks deceiving on some of them how you look, but it's well within the spec when you actually get out and measure it, so we're all good. Second one we had an opportunity, Audrey had talked about the lanes here at 13 and US 36 and how they lined up. So after we had that, we came out with Road Safe and Milestone. We looked at that intersection. The sign at the top wasn't bagged, so we bagged the sign because people might have thought, hey, get in this lane. And then we also put a sign up on the right side and we painted an arrow for a straight and a left turn. So hopefully that's adjusted a lot of that. I did run into Audrey the other day when I was up there, when he was over here painting the black lines, and she was very appreciative of what we did.
Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, thank you.
I'll let you know where we're at with that. And the last one we just had was from Lacey. And Kylie responded to her this morning with all the information we
yeah.
had on the side.
I responded to her too, so yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Very good. Cool. I like Grant.
great.
Just as an update, we did the traffic switch on November 9th. So traffic is now flowing east and west. Also, the southbound lane or roads are open with the exception of Maple. So it does appear that traffic is flowing rather well through town right now. So in the next couple of weeks right now, we're working with our utility partners so that they can get their relocations on the north side done. That will allow us to begin our work on that side. Duke Energy currently has a contractor, ARC, who's in town. They are working on relocating the power poles as well as the overhead lights. They are working to try to keep as many of those lights working and moving them to the south side. That way lighting along 67 stays well lit at night. After that, though, we'll continue with our layout as we move into getting water line laid. So we hope to begin the water line here soon.
When do you think that'll start? Any idea?
Right now, tentatively, we plan to start actually digging right after the holiday. However, prior to that, though, we'll begin our saw cutting as well as the actual layout.
Okay. Good.
I do have a question
Yes, sir.
on the westbound 67, as you approach Madison Street, the turn lane is what's blocked off there. Is there any way, because it's kind of confusing for some because they have to merge to the left to go straight, obviously, because everything's blocked. But then the turn lane, there are people, they don't get in that lane. They stay in that straight lane because they see how that goes. And then they try to turn from there and then they block traffic. Is there any, I don't know a solution to that, besides like maybe putting that down, the barricades down the middle and leaving the turn lane open? And then the other lane goes the other way? I don't know.
Are you talking about when they're coming south?
No, when they're
Going west.
going westbound. The turn lane right there by the library. There are barricades in the actual turn lane, which is supposed to merge everybody kind of over to get them in the proper lane.
Okay.
Going westbound on
We
67,
can
but
look at that.
that's the only thing I've seen that has caused some confusion in the traffic patterns that I've noticed.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
It does look a little weird at night because of the way the lines are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the lines, some of them aren't completely like blacked out or faded out.
So it makes
And
look
so it
like-
makes it confusing for some people, and there are cars that will stop there and wait to try to turn when they should be in the turn lane to turn.
Yeah, we'll see if I can, we'll see if I can.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think so. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Appreciate it. Okay, old business. Council to consider the second reading of the 2024 salary ordinance 2023-11A. Joe?
Yeah, that salary ordinance has been updated with the updates discussed at the last council meeting. And it is all ready for your vote this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary ordinance 2023-11A as presented.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
I abstain.
All opposed? Motion has it.
Thank
Well, that
you.
was quick.
Yeah,
Good.
Hey, Jill.
I'm next up. Mike. The only thing I've really got for this evening is I want to say what a wonderful job everybody did on the Winterfest. It was a
Absolutely.
great event. The weather was perfect. So whoever set the weather. Appreciate that. But I will say, I really did like having the kids zone in that parking lot. I know it probably made it a little bit tougher for some of the, parking and made people have to look a little harder, but, that was a really nice setup. And I think it was nice having it where the kids could all be in that one little area. So I want to, give a shout out to everybody that contributed and done a great job on that. The water treatment plant, they did pave the parking lot today. Starting to get some of that mud cleaned up finally, there's still more paving to do, but at least they got the first coat down and within the parking lot itself. So, and then, earlier last week, we did have that water main break that, was out at Helmcrest. In fact, I brought in a section of the pipe where the break is. It's on the table back there in the back in case anybody wants to look at it. That's an old section of water main that could have been put in anywhere between 1913 and like 1960s, somewhere in that area. So it just happened to be a segment of pipe that we didn't realize was even in existence in that location, because there's all brand new pipes all around it and functioning, but this was still tied on. And we just didn't know where it was connected. So therefore we had to shut down a little bit bigger of an area to be able to kill it and be able to make the repair on it. So, but we did, just as a precaution, we called in, or we took samples. We did the boil water advisory. We took multiple samples, sent it to the State Board of Health to have them checked. Everything came back good and clean. There was plenty of chlorine residual within the main the whole time. So all of our tests were good. So didn't really have any fear of anything, but just as a precaution, we have to go through that process. So.
Is there any reason why people out in Helmcrest would be having that? I saw somebody say something about having problems with flushing their toilets.
Only during that time when the water was low. Yeah. If they're still having problems now, they might want to look at their valves, see if there's any dirt or rust or anything built up in it. I know a lot of times, like on your kitchen sink or even bathroom sink, there's an aerator that sometimes it doesn't seem like you've got much pressure, but if you take that aerator off and clean it out, that helps quite a bit.
Do we have a lot of lead pipe throughout the town?
We don't have any lead pipe.
Good.
I will say, I want to specify, when I say we don't have any lead, we don't have any specifically what they consider lead pipe. But now they're doing an audit. They're requiring us to do an audit in all communities to do a lead service line inventory. And we're in the process of doing that as well. They consider galvanized, if you've got a galvanized water line, as lead. So they want to know if there's galvanized in the system. So we're going through and working on an inventory on all that. Most all of our stuff is PVC, with the exception of Old Town, the old downtown where some of the original pipes are, still in the ground and functioning. They've got some of the old pit cast that's still in the ground, and a lot of the water services are still galvanized in that area, unless there's been a problem that they've, replaced the whole line. And we have replaced several, but there's still a few galvanized ones in the old part of town.
Anything else for Joe?
No, anything for Joe? Rich?
Oh, no. Thank you.
Adam?
Nothing for me tonight unless you have any questions on anything.
You don't want to announce the good news?
About the house on Noel. Yes, demolition preparation has finally begun. And I think the house will come down sometime this week. So
Good. That's good.
it's about time.
Yep. Patrick?
What I have is, like Joe, I'm gonna echo what Joe said about Winterfest. They did a really good job. It was well attended. It was a good event. I mirror his comment on the kid zone being in the public parking lot. I think that's probably our best option from here moving forward for safety. But it was enjoyable. And then we have our shop with the cop this weekend. Thank you to everyone in the town that's donated to help us do that. I think we're shopping for about 23 to 25 children this year. So thank you to Walmart and Vanessa Moore, who owns McDonald's in Greenfield and off 6 West. She'll be providing breakfast for them also.
Cool.
So other than that, unless you have questions for me, that's it.
I don't.
Missy is not here. Alex, do you have anything for us?
I don't, unless you have questions for me.
I do not. Any public comment from anybody? Nope. Yep. Yes.
People are still commenting about their water being brown at times, not just at home for us, but like one of our neighbors is talking about the get your toilets clean, you know, and I'm like, does it have anything to do with those aerators?
Partially, and I will say, and if you take a look at that water main in the back, that pipe has been in the ground a very long time and it's old cast iron. If there's no maintenance done, those pipes will start to fill up with rust and sludge and they'll restrict and they'll get real small to where there's not much flow. As you can see by those pipes there, we've always been really good about our maintenance by softening the water and flushing the hydrants, keeps all that stuff moving and keeps it flushed out of the system. Unfortunately, with the new plant coming on and the high demand that we had this summer, we were not able to flush the hydrants. And there was a period of time that the water softener was down. Now we get our water from wells. So well water is naturally in this area, it's rusty and there's a lot of sediment in it. So it requires all that filtering and extra maintenance to keep everything running and keep it smooth. But when you're not able to do that, that's when, people are starting to notice it. But as soon as, I promise, as soon as we can start flushing hydrants, that week will probably make things a little cloudy again with the water, but then it should start clearing up and we'll have as good as water, if not better than what we had before. Well, we would be doing it right now if the weather would allow, but since we've got weather that's going to be down below freezing, we typically don't flush when it's going to get down cold. That'll freeze on the street and cause some ice issues. The hydrant barrels will freeze. And if there's a fire, those hydrants won't function. So, because they do drain, they have to drain slow. So, we typically flush in the spring. So that's. There are a lot of new houses, but I wouldn't say that that's the problem with it. Yes, it should be good for several years. And a lot of new homes can be added on. And the new plant that we've got is built to where it can be expandable. So we can just add some more filters and softeners as we go, as we get more development, so we can keep adding on to it. There may be a time that we need to drill another well, but for right now, we're in pretty good shape. Mhm.
There might be some disturbance too when they do the water line on 67. That'll be part of this second phase. So when that happens, it might create some more of this. So hopefully we won't be flushing till after that happens anyway. So we'll clear that up. We'll have it happen after we flush the hydrants. So.
We'll try to keep it to a minimum, if there's any disturbance. Yeah. And it's really tricky. If we could say exactly where this is going to occur. I know I've talked to people in certain areas of town that have not witnessed any of the rust or the dirt or anything. They may have all new mains, all new plastic, or they may be far enough out to where the water plant and the breaks and stuff are stirring it all up here in town. But once it runs down that water main for so long and there's not a lot of demand on it, it starts to settle out in the main. So they're drawing water off the top of the main, or not directly off the top, but middle part of it, and not where the sediment is in the bottom. And until we start flushing those hydrants and getting that water moving through there, that stuff will just lay in the bottom of the pipe and it won't show up in anybody's service.
Nessa. Yeah.
That's Andy. I'll give that to Andy.
at any rate, is that will. And then it would be. Is that, the original 1 year schedule? For your November 4 of the north side of the street, that period like that where they.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's not a sign of.
no, no,
It's actually a 30-month project.
yeah.
So they're still on schedule to be done on time. It's a 30-month project from the time they start to the time that they finish. Not the Broadway, not to where they're gonna open it up again, because this summer, I think their goal was to have it opened up by October, November. And then next year, they're looking at the same thing. I believe October, November, that'll all be opened up. So, you're looking at 24 months and there's another 6 months for little, cleanup or maintenance or making sure that this grass grows or some landscaping needs to be fixed here. Some signs need repaired. So the contract lasts, a little bit longer than what the harder work, I guess, is going to be to finish up.
The trail's a part of that too, though, right?
The trail.
So out the
traffic
trail
light.
and the traffic light out here on 200 is part of that as well.
That sounds good.
They've taken all that into account, winter and months that they can't work and.
Plus the
rainy
holiday,
days.
I'm sure with the holiday
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's all included.
Anybody else?
I didn't want to speak for NDOT, but I figured since I.
Well, that is what,
my
yeah,
understanding.
well, that is what they've told us. So, I mean, we're just relaying what they've told us. So, right, right.
Anything, that is just kind of.
They were actually ahead of schedule on the first phase, so they finished up a couple weeks early. So that was where I think people thought they were behind. They were actually ahead. You got any comments?
No, I just want to say the same thing about Winterfest. It was awesome. I know my family and I had a great time. So thank you to everybody that participated. I had a client this morning that had just moved to Geist from Michigan, and they came and first time in Fortville and they loved it. Thought it was amazing. So
That's
great
nice.
job, everybody. Yeah.
Did somebody get it on camera? I don't. Yeah. Yeah. My sentiments exactly. Yeah, it was a great festival. I think it was a great turnout. And been a long time since we've seen that many people around. So it was good.
And the fact everybody could find it.
Yeah. And everybody got to it. Becky, you got anything?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, I need a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for coming.